Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Sarah Pinder. I'm the Engagement Director with M&A, and I'm very excited to have you here for our special presentation from Dr. Ruvio at Michigan State University in the Department of Marketing. Really quickly, a couple of housekeeping items. Please feel free throughout the presentation to use either the raise hand function or the chat box for questions. We also are planning to unmute your phones so that you can ask questions. This topic is quite challenging, and so we want to be able to have that open dialogue with you in case you have any questions, and make sure that you're grasping the concept from the beginning, because you'll get much more out of the presentation if everybody's on the same page. So again, feel free to interact, or like I said, use your raise hand function or chat to ask questions and do things that way. So we will also be sending out the presentation as well as the recording of today's webinar so that you can have it as a reference. And as you might have seen on the screen as we were preparing to start today's webinar, we do have lots of other great upcoming events. I want to highlight one is our Talent Strategy Summit coming up on August 22nd. We'll be at the Detroit Zoo, and our keynote speaker is Vu Le. You might know him from the blog Nonprofit with Balls, now called NAF. But we anticipate a really awesome event. He's a great speaker, and so please, keep your eye out for more information coming about that event, and mark your calendar for August 22nd. So without further ado, I am going to turn it over to my guest here, and we're going to learn something new and great today.
Thank you. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. My name is Ayalla Ruvio. I'm an assistant professor at the marketing department at the Rhodes College of Business. Although I'm in the marketing department, my PhD was actually on nonprofit entrepreneurship. I've been researching nonprofits for a very long time, and I also work with nonprofits. So I'm very familiar with your struggles, with your challenges, and also with the great things that you do. So today we're going to talk about nonprofit value proposition, which is one of the most effective strategic tools that any CEO can have, and how to use it to gain competitive advantage. I'm going to present the slides in the concept, but please, if you do not understand something or you have a question, just jump right in and we'll try to address all of your inquiries. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to start with a definition of what it is exactly, unique value proposition. Then we're going to talk about why this is really important to you. Next, we're going to cover the three pillars of unique value proposition. What is the process of value creation? How to actually write a unique value proposition. And we're going to end with common mistakes that organizations and companies are making when addressing the issue of unique value proposition, and what are the best practices. I am going to leave you today with several tools that you can use and utilize in your organizations way after we're done with this presentation. You're also going to have my email, so if you want to contact me, if you have any questions or you want to continue this dialogue, please free to do so. So let's start with what value proposition really is. And pretty much as it says, it's a clear compelling statement that tells who you are, what is the great things that you're doing, how it is that what you're doing is different from other organizations in a way that will motivate your target audience. When I say target audience, I mean donors, volunteers, supporters, advocates, the people that you actually serve, all those people that are involved in your operation and the one that you want to support your cause. normally your unique value proposition should answer two questions. The first is, what makes you unique and special and worthy of support? If you want my money as a donor or my time, which time is even more valuable sometimes than money, then tell me, why should I give it to you? And then how supporting you is really beneficial to me, to the target audience, and to my community. So you have to establish that as well. This is a great example of Conservation International of how they present their value proposition on the website. So what makes their value proposition unique is actually the combination of the three elements that they are presenting. It's not just what they say, it's how they present it and that specific combination. So when we are talking about unique value proposition, then the uniqueness part, the special part, can come from different sources. And sometimes it's just the way we are doing things. And some of you already have that built in your operation. This is another great example, and this is one of our, coming from the website of one of our participants. I will say that I've visited all of your websites, at least the ones that I could find online, and I browsed around and look at them. So this is a really nice example that you see that the organization clearly states what their mission is, what their vision is, and that little paragraph can be regarded as a unique value proposition, and you can kind of understand what makes them special and what makes them unique. That part can be better clarified, but you can still understand that. So really nice, nice job there. Okay, so a lot of time I've been asking the question, okay, so why do I really need that? I mean, isn't vision enough, mission is enough? Why do I now need value proposition? And how it is different from vision and mission. So I thought that I'll show you this. It's basically the reflection of who you are as a brand, right? You all different brands, and all of these are different levels of your brand presentation. So your brand vision is all about your future, right? Is who you are and how you want to be. Your brand mission is basically how you're going to achieve your vision. Now, mind you, that those two aspects, it's all about who you are. It's centered around you. And brand promise is all about your cause, right? So what it is that you do. The value proposition adds the element of connection with your target audience. So what makes it different is that it relates your promise, your cause, to the target audience. It tells them why this is important and why you're so special and different and unique. And you have to highlight it. So it's basically the execution of your vision, mission, and brand promise. The brand personality is actually your actions. It's how you really act out there and express it. So if you take a closer look, you see that the unique value proposition is it's the link between your internal part and what it is that you're doing out there. And it ties very nicely the expectations and the needs of target audience with who you are in a way that is supposed to be different from what other organizations are doing. So this part is really important. If anyone has a question about it, please let me know. I found this on the American Cancer Society. They actually addressed the notion of value proposition. And let me say one thing about it. You know, about 15 years ago, the notion of mission and vision started to develop, and companies and organizations identify how important it is that you will have mission and vision. Today, nobody is even asking if you should have it. Everybody knows that you need to have it, and most of you have it. If I went on your website, I could see your vision and mission in most cases on your website. Today, it's all about value proposition. You know, businesses know today that they have to have a value proposition, because what makes that different is it centers not around who you are, it centers around your target audience. And if your organization is not target audience center, or in the business world you're not consumer center, then you are in a disadvantaged position. So the American Cancer Society picked on that, and their mission is to free the world from cancer. The value proposition says how they're going to do it. And you can see that they're going to save lives by helping people to stay well, get well, finding cure, fighting back against cancer. And then they elaborate about each of those elements. So what makes them unique is that combination of elements and the way they're going to execute that. So, but why this is so important to you, if I haven't convinced you yet? So a good value proposition does several things for you. First of all, it makes you much more attractive option for donors, volunteers, or whatever target audience that you're trying to attract. Not just to recruit them, but to retain them and to get them engaged. Because here's the thing, if they understand how unique and special you are and how important it is what you're doing, they will come. If they do not understand that, they do have other options, and they will go elsewhere. What else can it do for you? It helps you focus on the right aspects of your cause. So we're going to talk about it. It is very important to talk not just about what it is that you do, but also what are the things that you're not doing, because it's not part of your value. And you should not do them because, you know what, your resources are scarce, and you should not waste them on things that are not related to your value, because everything that you do has to enhance your value. So if you are focusing on the right aspects of your cause, it helps you to be more effective, more efficient with your resources. It should direct almost every strategic decision that you make, because every strategic decision that you make has to be weighed against your value proposition. It helps you to identify future opportunity, because everything that enhances your value, you should go after it. If it does not, you're not. It helps you to that part is very important, but maybe I'm a little bit biased because I am a marketing person after all. But it should direct your marketing strategy. It should direct your communication strategy. Everything that you said, I'm going to show you how to do that. Everything that you said has to be rooted in your value proposition. And if you do it well, you get a much more effective response and a lasting one. So it gives you a great competitive advantage, and really what it is the compass of the organization. It directs everything that you do to the right direction. Not having it is like sailing in the sea with nowhere know where you're going, and it's never a good position to be at. So I hope you agree with me that it is important. Now let's see, you know, how we should craft that. What are the things that we need to pay attention? So let's talk about the 3 pillars of unique value proposition. The 3 pillars of unique value proposition include your organization, what it is that you do best, what is your cause, your resources, your abilities, who's your target market, what it is they need, what it is they want, what are their expectations for you, what do they value, and your competitors, what they do best. Now, I know the concept of competitors is a little bit sensitive when it comes to no profit, because we all do good things. Actually, you're doing good things, right? The more organizations out there doing good things, the better it is for us. When we're talking about competitors, it's not in a way that we want, you know, that is trying to, you know, demean what they're doing or disregard of what they're doing, or to show how superior we are. Really, what you want to show is how unique you are. So the moment you say that you are unique, by definition, you say that you are different. Different from whom? Different from other options, from other organizations that might provide the same value. You have to be unique. Otherwise, why should you even exist? If you're doing just, you know, exactly the same as another organization, then it's just a waste of resources, isn't it? So these are the 3 pillars. What's really interesting in this is not the pillars itself, it's actually the interaction between the pillars. So, normally when you see three circles, then the optimal point is the center, right? Not in this case. Why not in this case? Because what does it really mean to be in the center? It means, here I am, your organization, right? You offer something that your consumer, your target audience value because you're overlapping with them, but your competitors are there as well. So they're offering something that your target audience value as well, but they offer it in a way that is not different than what you do. So in the eyes of your target audience, donating you or donating them, it's the same thing. Volunteer with you or volunteer with them, it's the same thing. Think about what you do when you are considering two options of products. If you don't see that one is better than the other, you don't really care. Just grab whatever, right? You don't want to be in a position like that. But this is actually not the worst position to be in because at least you still address whatever your target audience is looking for. In the who cares area, this is not a good position to be in. Because what it means that you're offering something that your competitors offer the same thing and does not address any of the needs or expectations of your target audience. This is waste of resources. You should not be there. And this is exactly where value proposition kicks in because it tells you do not go there. The X zone, that is an area where your competitors are offering something that your target audience values, but you are not there. Now, is that bad? Well, not necessarily, because if your competitors are offering something that is unrelated to your value, then actually you should not be there, because not being there just strengthens your value. Highlight how unique you are, highlight your differentiation. Let me give you a very short example. Think about Lamborghini, right? Can they manufacture a very cheap car that we can afford? Yes, they can. Will they do that? Absolutely not, because being expensive and not affordable is part of their value proposition. So they will never do that, although they can. So sometimes there are things out there that you should not pursue. However, sometimes if this is an area where you should be there, which is related to your value proposition, then this is a missed opportunity. So that leaves us with one area, and this is where you should play. This is the best place to be. Why? You're offering something that your target audience values, and your competitors are not there. That means that your target value your target audience, view your value as unique and special. And this is where they will open their wallet, and this is where they spend their time. I'm going to show you, you have to do this analysis before you start thinking about your value proposition, because you have to be clear about all those elements before you move forward. And I'm going to show you questions that will direct your thinking. What you are trying to do, in essence, is to identify three gaps. Gaps in whatever your organization is doing, which is things that you do not do, things that you do not do well, things that you should offer, things that you are offering you should not offer. Okay, this is your gap. Your consumer gap is things that your consumer value and want, and you're not providing them with. This is a missed opportunity. And your competitor gap is things that they are doing well and they're offering, and you are not doing that. So this is put you in a disadvantage. Also, you can see things that they're not doing, and you can pursue it, and that will give you a competitive advantage. So that's why you have to cover all of these three elements. So very quickly on the questions, because you're going to have them and you can use them. So when you analyze your organization, ask yourself who you are, what is our cause, how meaningful is it? Is it still relevant? I mean, things change, right? What it is that you do not do, what it is that you do and you should not do. What is your brand image? How your target audience perceive you, what it is that they're expecting from you. What is that you want to accomplish? What are your resources? Can you accomplish them? What is your promise? Can you fulfill it? What is the best result that you're expecting to deliver? This question is critical because it's all about your impact. Question 2 asks about your target audience, and mind you, target audience, the people that you serve, your donors, volunteers, sponsors, advocates, whoever you want to have on your side, who they are, what are their expectations, what change do they want to see? Because they do want to see change. If they donate money or volunteer or promote you, they want to see change. What do they value? What is desirable level of commitment? What problem can you help them solve? And how do they see you? It's kind of relate to the previous one. Last is your competitors, and pretty much the same question you're asking yourself, you have to ask about your competitors. You specifically, when you talk competitors, is any organization out there that provides the same value? Could be nonprofit, could be for-profit, could be public. The moment they operate in the same area that you are, by definition, they're competitors. And again, it's not like you're trying to say that they're not important. You're just trying to see where it is that, where's your niche? What makes you special and different? Because you need to have that. See what it is that makes them unique and special, so you can, move away from it. You don't want to trap their cause, right? How their target market view them. What is the target market like in them? Because this lesson that you might you can adopt. And what is it that they're doing well? How do they communicate with their supporters, and what are the benefits they're getting from that? Again, those are lessons that might help you do things better. So always monitor your competitors, and I'm sure that you are doing that because, after all, it's a very small world, right? So the big question is, okay, so you talk about all of this element, but what do I really need to do? So the first step will be to analyze the 3 pillars. You have to know where you stand. Then when we're talking about value creation, we're talking about 3 steps. You have to choose a value. This is all about your cause. You have to be able to provide it, and you have to communicate that. Now, looking at most of your website, I can tell you, you all have extremely well causes and really kudos for you for all the good things that you are doing. I truly, truly appreciate it. You're doing well. You are providing value. There's no doubt about it. But when it comes to communicate your value, this is where you need to put a little bit more thinking in and to improve the way that you're doing it. Because if you're doing such great things and people just don't know about it, then you're missing support. You're missing things that will help you do even greater good things. So we're going to talk about it. I'm going to give you some examples. So let's talk about choosing a value, and you probably figure out what will direct your choices. Going back to the 3 pillars, choose a value that is desirable, something that your target market, target audience appreciate and value, something that is personally relevant to them. And we're going to talk about being personal relevant. Remember, value proposition is target audience centric, not about you. It's about them. It has to be distinct and superior, and it has to be authentic. Don't promise something that it's not you, because it's just not going to look good. Also, going to the element of delivery, don't promise something that you cannot deliver. If you ask me what's your best strategy is always under-promise, over-deliver. You better be in that position than the opposite, because then you're losing your credibility and you don't want to be in a position like that. So you have to choose a value that is visible for you to provide, value that has an impact, that you can show, I made this change. And it's an awesome change. It's an important change. And something that is, again, going back to unique, it's hard to replicate and difficult to attack. And then when we're talking about your competitors, be different, be unique, be special. So now let's talk about delivering your value, right? And your audience really wants to see when, where, and how. And it kind of relates to communicating your value, but I want to show you how to do that. So this is, I hope I pronounce it well. It's Acumen, the organization that supports helps people get out of poverty by helping them open small businesses. So look how beautiful they show what it is that they do. So if you donate, money to them, you know what happened to your donation. They get the donation, they make an investment, they make sure that this investment is being scaled to create a social impact, and whatever they get out of it, note that they're not talking about profit, they recycle back to the organization. So they're doing great. They actually are very successful. Whatever they're going to make, going to go back. So actually you're donating twice, right? You donate when you give the money, but you also donate it when they're successful, and that dollar generated $10. Very nice, very clear. I believe that the organization, that the Business Consultant for Nonprofits, on your website, you have something very similar with how you, I believe it's you, how you identified needs, how you address them, the whole process that you work, and you do it visually, which is really important. I'm going to say something about it in a minute. But I don't remember where it's buried in your website. Put it front page. It's important. This is how you are doing what it is that you do. Show it. This is the Family Promise of Grand Rapids, and look how beautiful and how clear they show their impact. 90% of our families find new homes. How awesome is that? What else do you want? 90%. See how clear it is. Now, we're going to talk about communication. I want you to know that if you will look at your donors and your volunteers, you do a profile of them, I can guarantee you that about 60 to 70% at least of them are either millennials or now you're starting to have Generation Z. Those people are social media savvy. The young millennials and Generation Z grew up in a world that always had computers, always had social media. They text, they tweet, they send photos. They are visualizers. They need pictures, videos, illustration. It's not that they don't read, but this is not their cup of tea. They want whatever it is that you see right now in front of you. So if your homepage has over 800 words in it, and one of you does, then the moment they log into your website, they're gone, because you do not communicate with them the way that they communicate with the world. And 5 years from now, they're going to be 80 and 90% of your donors and volunteers. Do not lose them. So let's talk about communication. Very nice job, by the way. I'm sorry, before that. Another example of delivering value. So if you look at it, this is Power Chicago. If you look at it, value proposition is that building no-kill communities, which is really great. But see how small their value proposition is? It should be bigger. Because look what they did. They have managed to reduce the number of pets that are being killed in the city of Chicago by 80% in less than 10 years. Talk about impact. Look at that. I mean, seriously, it's want to make you open your wallet and just write a check, because you cannot argue with those numbers. That's a huge, huge impact. Show your impact. Some of you are doing that better than others. Some of you have it, not all of you. Some of you have it buried somewhere. So I'll give you an example. One of you, and I won't mention names, have a beautiful illustration of your impact of 2016. Beautiful, like with, a graphical illustration. The problem is, it is only on your annual report on page 6 and 7. So if I am a new donor, if I am a new volunteer, I guarantee you I will not go and seek your annual report and get to page 6 and 7 to see all the great things that you're doing. And you are. So put it right there, front page. As anyone log in, they need to see your impact. Very easy to do. Okay, let's talk about communicating your value, because you are doing good, but are you being right? Things that you need to take into consideration: how clear is your unique value proposition? It needs to be clear, it needs to be stated, and as we just talked about, hopefully you're going to show it, not just talk about it, show it. Because you need to use it to motivate your audience. I'm going to give you multiple examples of how to do it. Easy examples, really easy to do, but most of you don't have it. So let me start with those who does. So this is from the website of the Business Consultants for Nonprofits. Hopefully we have them with us. And see how clear it is. We want to see your nonprofit thrive. Very clear. But what else is good in it is that it is personal. It is addressing their target audience. They don't say, you know, we think that nonprofit organizations are important. They say, we want to help you do better, which is really, really great. Some of you have a statement of what it is that you're doing, but it is not personal. It's not from your target audience perspective. It's from your perspective. It's you will have your vision or your mission there. But remember, value proposition has to be target audience centric. So it would have been perfect if that little section there, instead of describing what the organization is, would have continued with that personal voice. So let me give you an example. So instead of saying BCNP is a nonprofit of active and retired business professional, volunteers are expertise to assist mandatory nonprofit build capacity to achieve their missions. Instead of saying that, which is okay, which is, you know, there's nothing wrong with it, but to connect with your target audience, maybe a better way would be thinking of starting a new profit to promote an important cause. Do you have a new profit organization, but you're struggling to grow? Our experts, who are just like you, nonprofit experienced people. I'm just, you know, coming up with it as I speak. Nonprofit experienced people will harness their expertise and experience to help your nonprofit achieve its strategic goal. We will help you not just to do good, but to be great. Personal, and you have all the elements, and it's clear what makes you different. But you also connect with your consumer, with your target market, which is really, really important. And I can go one by one with you and show you how you can just change a word, make a much greater impact. This is one of my favorites. So it's the, how do you pronounce that?
Mariners?
Mariners Inc. I'm sorry. So look at their donation page. They actually explain to you why it is important to donate to them. There was a study that showed that if you connect your donation page to your value proposition, you triple your conversion rate, triple. And they will also donate much more, and I just don't remember how much percent more, but it's just insane amount of money. And note that they also say that we are proud to report that 93 cents of every dollar donated is spent directly on supporting a program, which is extremely, extremely important. We're going to go back to that point. What else that I like here very, very much is that they give meaning to your donation. So $4.50 provide you a nutrition meal, $35 provide you with a month-long bus pass to job seeker, and $70 provide you with 2 weeks of shelter and comprehensive recovery service to a neighbor in need. What should they do in order to make that perfect? Instead of having amounts that have no real meaning, like $25, $50, $100, and $1,000. By the way, I don't know how many people actually donated $1,000, but just by having that number there, you are affecting the amount that people will donate. My suggestion will be remove all of it, and what you really need to put here will be something like that. Donate $45 for 10 nutritious meals. $35, provide, month-long bus pass. $140, a month of shelter and comprehensive recovery. And I'm sure that you can break it down to all kinds of amounts. But now you have amounts that have a meaning. Now people know exactly what it is that they're donating for. These numbers are not sterile. They have meaning, and that meaning is relating to your value proposition. Try to do that, and let me know if indeed it increased your amount significantly. I would leave enter custom amount right there, just as an option, but definitely give meaning to your numbers. Use your value proposition to extend your reach. So a lot of you have joined our newsletter, right? Sign up for our newsletter. Do you see how more meaningful explaining why you should join our newsletter? One of you, and I don't remember which one, actually had said on the newsletter page, we only send 12 newsletters a year, which is very, very smart, and it's understandable why you put it there, because people do not want to be spammed. Maybe a slightly different way of presenting it would be, stay in touch with us to hear what we are doing with our donation and how we are helping whoever our target audience is. And we will keep you posted one time a month or once a month with our progress. Now, once a month sounds much lower than 12 times a year, right? Same amount, but it sounds lower. So you can use that, but just relate that sign up to your unique value proposition. Increase your participation and support. Again, look at the combination. Value proposition that is related to registering to event, picture that illustrate that, short, crisp, compelling. This is actually a video, but I couldn't put the whole video here, but you see that it says specifically, right? With your help, this is increased involvement. So with your help, we fund this amount of water projects for this amount of people around the world, and they will update those numbers regularly. But we are not done yet. We need your help. Hear how you can get involved. And they give them options. So you can donate, you can volunteer, you can advocate, because, people do have different constraints. They might still want to support your cause, but they cannot donate or they cannot volunteer, whatever. You give them options, but your options are related to your value proposition. Here's another example. It goes back to the example that we started with it. 85% of the WWF spending is directed to worldwide conservation activities. So the organization that I presented earlier is doing a much better job. They're at 93%. But it's a small sentence that is on their donation page. Now, should it stay there? Absolutely. But should you put something like that right at the front of the homepage of your website? Absolutely. It's part of your value proposition. And it's just an example of how great you're doing. It's just that nobody can see it. And the reason, though, think about it like a puzzle. You have all the parts, but they're scattered all around instead of composing a coherent and clear picture. So you have those elements. Just use them. Now let's talk a little bit about how you should write a unique value proposition. And it's literally a template that you can take and fill up the gaps, and you have it. I can tell you that again, most organizations, with my experience, are very good with identify their target audience, talk about their cause. Where they are falling short is to say what makes them unique and special. But here's the thing. If you cannot clearly state to you what makes you unique and special, I can guarantee you that your target audience is not clear about that. And, you know, this is where you're losing them. So let's take a look at it. So for target audience who wants to need, tell me what your target audience need or what issue that you solve. This is your cause. The offering, what is it you do, which provides, what is the solution to the issue, and how you do it differently from your competitors. Again, all you don't have to say, oh, we're different from this because of that, or all you say is, you know, like we talk about a nonprofit, that organization that supports nonprofit startup. All you need to say is that, you know, we're using nonprofit experts, people that are just like you, have the experience. That is a differentiator. Another differentiator is maybe you're local and you're helping a specific community, and knowing that community is your special, you know, special element. That's what differentiates you. So there are many sources of differentiation. Just use whatever is right for you. I brought this example. This was written by a student of mine. She's not an American. This is a small nonprofit organization that, as you see, help entrepreneurs, not nonprofit entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs. She wrote it in 2 minutes. So she was very clear about what it is that they're doing that makes them special. I'm sure that the business consultants for nonprofits can literally take that and twist it a little bit, and here you go. But let's go over it really quick. For young at heart entrepreneurs who are full of exciting and creative ideas and who have a vision that they are unable to translate into a profitable strategy, our company, the partner that will make this vision reality and will help small businesses take the next step towards a strong growth and greater results. Unlike other consultancy firms, we will not just bring you talk and theory. We actually understand what it means to be an entrepreneur, and we will use our own global entrepreneur experience in a pragmatic approach to deliver long-term results. They focus on international small businesses. Very clear, very concise. Now they can take it and use it to direct their messages, to connect with their target audience, to position themselves. They have a compass, a strategic one. Okay, let me end with some common mistakes and best practices. So the biggest common mistake that you can do is not having a unique value proposition. Listen, 15 years ago, you know, vision and mission, did I say that already? Okay, sorry. Vision and mission was a big deal. Now it's all about unique value proposition, and it's all about being centered around your target audience. Businesses, successful businesses are moving towards this direction. All you really need to do, if you will have time tonight, you can watch the commercial, and I think you'll have very easy time to identify all those companies who do not sell you products. They tell you what the product can do for you. They don't say, look how great this product is. They say, look how great this product for you. And that's a big difference, okay? The other common mistake is assuming that your audience is clear about unique value proposition. Well, as I said, if you're not clear on that, I can guarantee you that they will not be clear on that, and they're not going to waste time trying to figure it out. You know, they'll just move on. Focusing on your organization when it is a business, I just tell them that they are very narcissistic. It's all about we and us, not being audience-centered. So we talked about it. Not being clear how your organization is different from others, going to be, you know, the differentiation element. Not leveraging your unique value proposition strategically. So you're not using it to connect with your target audience. You're not using it to motivate your target audience to contribute, to participate, to donate, to sponsors, to advocate, whatever is that end result that you want to achieve. Not communicating your unique value proposition effectively. Again, you are doing great things, but you have to show it clearly, hopefully also visually. And of course, the summary of all this is that you're not using, or the common mistake is not using your unique value proposition to build a competitive advantage and to direct strategic action. So what you should do, best practices, and you probably got that by now, right? Make your value proposition clear to understand. You can use the formula that I gave you earlier. Be concise, and clear. Describe clearly the benefit of taking action from the audience perspective. So you have to show what is it for your donors, what is it for your sponsors, your volunteers, right? Highlight why should they take action with you, why it is important to do it with you, not with another option. This is where you're being special and unique and differentiated. Address their major concern and minimize risk. This is very important. So that example with the 93 cents out of every dollar that is being donated goes to where it's supposed to go. This is minimizing risk. People want to make sure that their money and time is being spent wisely and correctly. And we also already talked about making it short and concise. Now it's your turn. What is your unique value proposition? And if you have any questions, I will be more than happy to address them.
Absolutely. Like I said at the beginning, feel free to use the chat box, raise hand function. If you raise your hand, we'll unmute you, and you can have a little dialogue here. I definitely got some good pointers off of that, and it got me to thinking that so oftentimes I think we get caught up in the day-to-day, and you forget to step back and look at these things. And yet, as Dr. Ruvio was saying, it's not that complicated. You just have to take a minute and consider it. I actually read an article the other day that I thought was interesting, and they referred to the IKEA effect. How when you build something or you're really involved in that, you think it's great. And the reality might be it may not be so great, or you may not be communicating how great it is. Just like the furniture you build from IKEA might not be the best thing ever, but you feel like it is because you've built it. So definitely it was interesting to me. I did have a question. Who do you think should tackle this project? Would that be something you'd involve board members in or staff? What would your recommendation be?
Well, that is a good question. So it all depends on how your strategic planning is being conducted in your organization. Because this is a strategic decision. So everybody must understand that this is your value. Because here's the thing. No matter what it is that you're doing, it has to support your value. Everything that you do has to enhance your value. Because if it's not enhancing your value, it's degrading your value. And this is not a good place to be. So everybody has to be on board and understand exactly what it is and to have a clear picture on that. Once you get it through your organization, then this is the time to communicate that to your target audience. So whoever is, however processes are working in your organization in terms of strategic decision making, this is how it's done.
My other question was, so say we have a lot of dedicated folks today and they go home tonight and they write one of these, which I'm sure everybody will. What is your recommendation around testing that message and or some strategies on how to do that in a simple, but impactful way?
Well, when you're writing anything, any piece that is a communicative piece and it is directed to your target audience, you need to write it from their perspective. So don't write it in a way that we do this. This is important to us. This is how we do things. This is what we think is right. Connect it to your target audience, whoever that target audience, and you might need to tweak a little bit. So on your donation page, it will be in one version of the message. In your volunteering page, it will be a little bit different of a version of a message, but the value will stay the same. And it needs to be communicated from your target audience perspective on the emotional level. So, if you are offering, if you are working to provide homes to families that are homeless, then, say something like, what does home mean to you? Strength, safe haven, hope. Think about those who do not have a home. Be the one that opens the door to strength, to give them hope, to provide them with a safe haven. We, over the years, managed to provide 90% of the family that approach us with your help. Let us continue with this work. That's all you need, and you're already doing it, so it just needs to be framed differently. You're already there. Just position yourself a little bit different, and it will be effective. And here's the thing. What's the worst thing that can happen? You're not doing it now. It was most of you at some level. So if you don't have anything to lose. If you change your message a little bit, and by the way, all your marketing materials needs to be the same. So it has to be the same voice. So let's say you're changing it on your website, and do it on your Facebook page as well. And it just has to be aligned. Don't say one thing in one place and a different thing in a different place. But you have nothing to lose. If you do that and you see results, that is great. If you do that and it's not working out, which I doubt, then you're still in the same position that you were before. Then maybe it's time to rethink it and just find a different way. But, you have nothing to lose.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned earlier, it's one piece of the puzzle, but a very important piece.
Yeah, well, it is a puzzle. All the pieces are scattered all over the place that you're doing. Just put them together and show how great you are and how, wonderful things that you are doing, because you are doing it. And, a lot of time I hear, well, we don't have time. We're so busy with, everyday challenges. And I understand that. But in order to make the right decision, you need something that will show you what the right decision is. In order to spend your resources wisely, because let's face it, we all struggle with shortage of resources, then you need something that to show you, you need to invest it here and not there, and just be more efficient with your resources. So it's just a great tool. Like, it's just a shame not to use it. It's like, would you think about not using your cell phone today? If you have to learn how to use your cell phone, yes. But is it effective and help you perform better? Absolutely. Value proposition is exactly the same thing, on the simplistic level.
Absolutely. Well, when you compare it to a cell phone, we all will be writing one tonight, because not like to go the whole day without it. Well, thank you so much.
I would just say one thing, really, please feel free to email me or ask questions if you have, or if you want me to review something and give you some suggestions. I'll be more than happy to do that. It will be an honor to help out with the great things that you're doing. So just think of me. I'm one email away.
Great. And is that on your next slide?
No, it's the first slide. It's on my first slide.
We'll make sure we provide that in the follow-up email as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you for being here today with us. And like I said, I hope you learned something new and think critically about how you can put that into action and take a few minutes, because as we learned today, it's not rocket science. We can all do this, and we can all be better for it. And thank you to Dr. Ruvio for joining us today. Really appreciate her expertise and lending that to the nonprofit sector.